Planning to travel to Sri Lanka in 2025? We just got back from our first Sri Lankan adventure, and let's just say the postcards don't tell the whole story. There are a few things we've learned by spending 4 weeks here, and we want to share with you what you need to know before you arrive. From visa applications to transportation, food, and so much more. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Tan, a bar manager.
And bridal designer turned full-time travelers.
We left the hustle culture behind. It just wasn't for us.
Join us on our travels as we share helpful tips and search for the most livable city for our new lifestyle. First up, visas. Australian passport holders are required to have a visa to visit Sri Lanka for tourism purposes. You must apply for the ETA online before you arrive via the official Sri Lankan government ETA website. The visa fee is $52 per person.
After applying, you will receive the Sri Lanka ETA status acknowledgement email like this. Now, this is just a confirmation email, not the actual approval notice.
The next step is important. You need to jump back into the website with your confirmation number, open the document and download the visa. Then you will have your visa approval. We printed ours out, but no one actually checked at Sri Lankan immigration. I think this is because your visa is already in their system, but just in case, always have a hard copy.
The best airport to arrive in Sri Lanka is Colombo. Although this airport is technically not in Colombo, but in Negombo, which is about 45 minutes away by car.
If you are staying in Colombo, you can easily get an Uber or Pick Me on arrival or pre-book a taxi via Kangaroo Cabs. We wouldn't recommend you trying to navigate public transport straight away. However, many visitors opt to stay in Negombo instead, which is a really nice fisherman's village, before making their way around Sri Lanka. You can certainly begin your journey here instead of Colombo if a busy city is not your thing.
Okay, let's talk about the best time to visit. Sri Lanka's weather can be regional due to the monsoons.
Generally, the southwest monsoon brings rain from May to September, affecting areas like the south and west coast from Colombo to Yala National Park. If you are planning to travel in the south and west coast and hill countries including Kandy and Ella, the best time is generally December to March.
And the northeast monsoon hits the east coast and the north from December to February. If you're planning to visit places like Sigiriya to Jaffna, aim for April to September.
We had conversations with many locals and they all mentioned about global warming and its impact on weather, making it a bit unpredictable these days. Now let's talk about money and payments. Cash is king. The currency in Sri Lanka is the Sri Lankan rupee. Good news is you can withdraw cash easily and there are many ATMs around. When it comes to ATM withdrawal fees, we found that Bank of Ceylon and People's Bank don't charge an additional fee for international withdrawals. These two were our go-to during our trip. However, be aware your own bank back home will likely charge a transaction fee, so just check your policies.
Payment methods vary. While larger hotels and some tourist establishments accept credit cards, cash payment is still the preferred method. Be aware that surcharges can sometimes apply to card payments, normally 3%. For your bills, most restaurants and hotels will charge a 10% service charge fee. There's also an 18% VAT fee, but this is generally included in the pricing, and we only got charged once at a restaurant in Colombo.
Getting a local SIM card is pretty easy and straightforward. You can either get it at the airport, which is actually not that much more expensive than going to a local telecom shop.
The three main providers are Mobitel, Dialog, and Hutch. We chose Mobitel as I did some online research and it was mentioned to have the best coverage in Sri Lanka. You can easily purchase a SIM card at official stores in most towns. You will need to bring your passport for the registration.
Regarding internet and Wi-Fi in Sri Lanka, it is very slow. Even in big cities like Colombo and Kandy, it is still super patchy and drops out very often. So don't expect the most reliable internet service here.
The supermarket, get some water and stuff. Pretty busy.
Yeah. I mean, this is a busy area. There's a lot of fruit and vegetables. Similar concept where you like grab what you want, like in Thailand.
Yeah.
And then they wait it for you and put a sticker and then you can scan it when you pay. But we're just looking for water.
Water? Some milk as well for my coffee in the morning.
Oh, do you want to grab it? Over there.
Yeah.
Look at the seafood. That prawn is so big.
Yeah.
You got my hand?
They do have pippies.
No, they're clams.
Clams.
They have like chicken, a lot of chicken, but I don't see red meat. They have literally like that's it. Mutton. They don't have beef.
That one is beef liver.
Oh, like a beef chunk that is
Yeah.
frozen. So like they don't really have a lot of cooked beef. Pork, they've got a bit of pork here.
Yeah.
I just think like the proteins are not great, so we've been having a lot of fish because fish and chicken.
Chicken, yeah. Fish chicken are the most popular here.
Looking at tea actually.
Look at tea?
Obviously they have great teas here. Black tea, but I don't see what I want, which is peppermint.
Yeah, peppermint tea. Oh, mint tea.
No, that's not that expensive.
That?
No, that's like $7. And there's 100 grams. So it's actually
So
like
loosely, yeah.
and then you just... I don't know if it's peppermint though, or is it like tea with mint infusion?
Yeah.
Because...
Does it say anything on the package?
Oh, okay. It says mint flavor.
Alright, so it's not.
Yeah, it's mint flavor, so it's not mint leaf, which is different.
Yeah.
But good packaging. When it comes to amenities, it's good to have realistic expectations. While you find adequate supermarkets in Colombo and most larger towns, they can be quite basic compared to what you might get used to back home.
And tap water is not safe to drink, maybe only for the locals, at least we've been told. So stick to bottled water. It is cheap and widely available. We even brush our teeth with bottled water.
For accommodation, you'll find a range of options, but don't think you'll be coming to Sri Lanka for a luxurious holiday. If that is your plan, then you're better off heading to Maldives, which is only an hour-and-a-half flights away. There are only a handful of truly luxurious resorts, but what we loved was you will be able to find plenty of mid-range hotels, guest house and homestays, which offers a more authentic experience. And they often include a scrumptious Sri Lankan style breakfast. There is always so much food. As frequent travelers, looking after our health is very important. Again, we never travel without comprehensive travel insurance, and Safety Wing is our go-to option. Ensure your policy covers medical emergencies, cancellations, and other potential issues. Sri Lanka has medical facilities, but they can vary in quality, especially outside of Colombo. They don't have many big hospitals, but there are always a handful of small clinics and pharmacies around. I actually got sick and had a horrible cough the entire time, and I was able to soothe it by going to the pharmacy for some cough syrup. The pharmacists in tourist towns are knowledgeable and often helpful. It was not expensive. I believe my syrup was only about $8 Australian. However, it is wise to bring any personal medications and definitely pack strong insect repellent due to mosquitoes, especially at dawn and dusk. And of course, SPF sunscreen is very important as the tropical sun is very strong.
Sri Lankans are very friendly. Often wave at you with genuine smiles. And can be very curious about where you're from.
That had got to be the most fun and insane experience we've had with locals when we travel so far, right?
Yeah.
They were just like, I think like Sri Lankans are very intrigued when you see our mic and also our camera. They all want to know like, oh, what you're doing, and like these kids were so inquisitive. They just all came up. At first it was like 5, next minute it was like 20 people around us.
So funny. Yeah.
They were so lovely as well.
I think they're
So
very
nice.
curious. They want to ask us a lot of questions,
Yeah.
but their English quite limited, so they kind of
they-
like try to like
but they were
communicate with the
practicing.
Yeah.
They were practicing because the adults, the dad was sort of like telling the kid how to ask a question in English. I think you see a foreigner, they want to like practice their English. They're intrigued by what you're doing, and they love telling you how beautiful their country is, which I adore. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Also, be prepared for a slightly different pace of life. Everything here often operates at a slower pace than what you might be used to. Embrace it, relax, and go with the flow. Things might not always happen exactly on schedule, and that is okay. Let's talk about food, our favorite topic. The main cuisine revolves around delicious rice and curry. The flavors of Sri Lankan curries are much lighter in comparison to an Indian curry, but still with plenty of spices.
Sri Lankan food can be very spicy, so don't ask for a normal spice level. Go low and work your way up if you can handle it. If you try to eat the spice level like a local, your stomach and mouth might not be happy with you.
All right, what do you have there?
I've ordered the string hopper. Essentially, it's vermicelli made in the pancake shape. You can see like that. And then you also comes with a variety of curries. I've ordered the chicken curry with it as well. So you actually eat it. I think you put it in. So obviously in Sri Lanka, people use their hands. Your right hand washed.
You have the
Obviously the curry makes it. The curry is really, really good here. The string hopper is very similar to a dish we have in Vietnam, with vermicelli as a base, and you have other things on top. But this is a really good curry. My gosh. You'll also find amazing hoppers, crispy bowl-shaped pancakes, or kottu, chopped roti, stir-fry with vegetables and meat, and roti in various forms.
Then what else did we eat in Sri Lanka? We had chopsy.
Stir fry vegetable and chicken, then got sauce, and underneath it's white rice.
We've also had a variety of devil dishes. If you're looking for Western options, there are a couple in Colombo, Ella, Willigama, and Marissa. You'll most likely find fast food options such as burgers and pizzas. After 4 weeks in Sri Lanka, although we do love the rice and curry, we did miss fresh greens, especially salads, towards the end of our trip. Getting around in Sri Lanka is an experience. Traffic in cities like Colombo and Kandy is absolutely manic and nothing we've ever seen before. Public buses are very common and affordable way to travel for locals, but be aware that the driving can sometimes feel a bit, let's just say, adventurous. If you do want the experience, you just hop on and tell them your stop, pay in cash, and off you go. Mind you, you literally have to hop on as the buses don't completely stop. Trains are probably the most popular way to travel around the country and offer scenic routes, especially through the hill countries from Kandy to Ella, but they can be incredibly slow and crowded. We didn't take any train rides on our trip this time as we opt for another more adventurous transport option.
So, if you want to experience Sri Lanka as authentic as it can get and with your own pace, renting a tuk-tuk is a must. We actually hike and travel around in a tuk-tuk for the majority of our time here. We also have a full video about this adventure coming up real soon, so keep an eye out for it. I've included the link to our tuk-tuk rental in the description below if you need more information or want to hire one. Of course, if you're not comfortable with driving your own tuk-tuk, you can get one easily around town. The best way to get one is via Sri Lanka's ride-sharing app like PickMe. This will save you from bargaining.
But be aware, during high demand times, the driver can accept your ride but will message you to ask for a higher price. If you don't agree, they will cancel your ride or ask you to do so. This is not allowed, but they do it. Ensure you know the cancellation terms before doing it because you may still get charged. Here's a hot tip. If you select paying by cash, the system can't charge you for cancellation in case you get a sneaky driver. Showing respect for local culture is incredibly important anywhere you travel. Sri Lanka is predominantly Buddhist and temple etiquette should be strictly followed.
As for all temple etiquette, no dress decent, no exposed shoulders and exposed knees. This also goes for males as well, which normally all the other temples it's just been females. So
you'll need to remove your shoes before entering temples. Also, taking selfies with Buddha is strictly prohibited and can result in fines and even jail time. I don't know, I feel like we keep putting ourselves in this position. There was like a donation officer, I would like to say.
Yeah.
And he's kind of acted like maybe even a guide if you want, or someone you could talk to about the temple. And he pointed us to the direction to go up a set of stairs, which you could see the view behind the Buddha, really beautiful. And when we came back down, he was just kind of like forcefully asked me for a donation. I just feel like our understanding of a donation is donation.
Yeah.
But here seems to be quite a forced gesture. Mind you, this didn't happen anywhere else when we only encountered it in Kandy. One of the reasons why we love Sri Lanka so much, it is because of the natural beauty and the incredible wildlife. You can spot many monkeys swinging on trees, peacocks in the backyard, and sea turtles riding on waves along the shores effortlessly. Locals are accustomed to living alongside these creatures, respecting their presence and adapting to the rhythm of nature. It is very important to respect the environment and these animals. Observe them from a safe distance, never feed them, and avoid supporting any activities that exploit wildlife like riding elephants, swimming, and touching turtles. That is definitely a no-no.
So there you have it, our essential tips on things you should know before visiting Sri Lanka in 2025.
It is a land of incredible beauty, rich culture, and wonderfully welcoming people. I hope you find this video useful to plan your next trip to Sri Lanka.
And we will see you next time.
If you found this video informative and inspiring, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date on all our latest adventures and travel tips.
And sharing is caring, so do share this video with your friends, family and fellow travelers.